Steve Ballmer getting sued, baby.
Thank you, finally.
Aspiration is the company that was paying Kawhi Leonard allegedly under the tables. Steve Ballmer and other Ballmer surrogates were funneling money to the company, keep it afloat. Steve Ballmer is being sued by people who are investors in Aspiration.
We need to talk about a forgotten NBA scandal, one that's starting to resurface in a big way. Now, I know everyone's been caught up with the Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups case lately. And yes, there's actually a new update coming soon. A U.S. congressional committee is set to meet with NBA officials this Wednesday in Washington, D.C., after the indictments of Billups, Rozier, and Damon Jones. The House Committee on Energy and Commerce will reportedly hold a briefing with the league to discuss its partnerships with sportsbooks and how it plans to prevent the illegal use of insider information. If we get more details after that meeting, I'll drop a full update video for you guys. But today's story is completely different. This one centers around Clippers owner Steve Ballmer and his company, Aspire, who are now facing a serious fraud lawsuit. Yep, Ballmer, one of the richest and most energetic owners in the league, is being accused of orchestrating a massive financial scheme. Before we dive deep into this shocking situation, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest NBA news. Now that we've got that covered, let's get into it.
These are guys who committed fraud. They conned me.
You're one of the richest men in America.
They conned me. I made an investment in these guys thinking it was on the up and up, and they conned me.
Well, things just got a whole lot messier for Steve Ballmer. 11 investors who poured their money into the same company as him have officially said, "We're calling BS on all of this." And they're not just ranting online. They've filed a $50 million lawsuit against Ballmer himself. The accusations are serious. Fraud, conspiracy, and potential criminal exposure that could shake the entire Clippers organization. The case could even open the door to discovery, meaning every text, email, and bank record tied to this scandal might soon be made public. Leading this charge is Skip Miller, one of Los Angeles' most powerful trial attorneys. He's represented legends like Elton John, Rod Stewart, and Bob Dylan, and even defended the city of LA during the Rodney King case. Ironically, Miller also helped the Clippers win approval to build their new home, the Intuit Dome, when Madison Square Garden tried to block it. Now, he's coming after the very man who benefited from that victory. Why? Because he's not just the investor's lawyer. He's one of the investors who lost money himself. For him, this isn't just business. It's personal. This lawsuit could completely reshape the Clippers' future. If proven true, Ballmer could face criminal charges, the team could lose multiple first-round draft picks, and even Kawhi Leonard's contract might be voided. To understand how this began, we need to go back to September, when journalist Pablo Torre exposed a 7-month investigation into Ballmer's green company, Aspiration Partners, a so-called environmental finance firm backed by big names like Leonardo DiCaprio and Orlando Bloom. Torre discovered that Ballmer allegedly used Aspiration to funnel $28 million to Kawhi Leonard under a fake marketing deal, a deal where Kawhi reportedly did no work at all. The kicker? The contract ended if Kawhi ever left the Clippers. Proof this partnership may have never been about trees or sustainability, but about secretly paying a superstar under the table. The investors are now going after Steve Ballmer, and they're not backing down. They say that after journalist Pablo Torre's investigation exposed the alleged secret payment scheme, everything finally made sense. Before Torre's report, these investors believed they were just victims of Joseph Sandberg's financial fraud. But once they saw the evidence, they realized Ballmer wasn't an innocent bystander. He was allegedly part of the plan. Their 133-page lawsuit accuses Ballmer of using Aspiration, now rebranded as Katona Climate Solutions, to secretly funnel millions to Kawhi Leonard while pretending it was a legitimate marketing partnership. But the accusations go even deeper. The complaint claims Ballmer not only helped sustain Sandberg's fraudulent operation, but also paid him off to keep quiet about the hidden deal with Kawhi, a move that crosses from salary cap manipulation into full-blown conspiracy and obstruction, the kind of stuff that can lead to criminal charges. According to the plaintiffs, they never would have invested in Katona if they had known the truth. They trusted Ballmer's name, the former Microsoft CEO and one of the richest men in the world, thinking his $50 million investment meant the company was legitimate. What they didn't realize was that Ballmer allegedly had a completely different motive behind that money. And the man leading this legal assault? Skip Miller, a legendary Los Angeles trial attorney with more than 50 years of courtroom experience. He's represented rock icons like Elton John, Rod Stewart, and Steven Tyler, and has beaten some of the biggest corporations in America. Miller even defended the city of LA in the infamous Rodney King civil rights case. Ironically, he's the same attorney who helped the city of Inglewood defeat Madison Square Garden's lawsuit, clearing the path for Ballmer's $2 billion Intuit Dome Arena. In other words, he once helped the Clippers get their home built, and now he's trying to take their owner down. This isn't just another client for Miller. He's one of the investors who personally lost money. When he says, everything will be aired out, he means it. Because once discovery begins, where every text, email, and bank record can be forced into the open, Ballmer's private communications, financial transfers, and any messages tied to Kawhi or Sandberg could all come to light. And if any of that evidence points toward wrongdoing, the fallout could be catastrophic. Not just for Ballmer, but for the entire Clippers franchise. Now comes the part that could blow this entire scandal wide open, because this civil lawsuit might force everything into the public eye. Once the case hits court, every document, every message, every transaction tied to Steve Ballmer could become public record. That means journalists can publish it, rival teams can study it, the Players Association can act on it, and even federal investigators can use it. Remember, Joseph Sandberg, the man at the center of this mess, has already pleaded guilty to federal fraud charges. So, there's already a criminal investigation happening in parallel. If the civil case's discovery process uncovers evidence that Ballmer knowingly took part in Sandberg's scheme, that information can be handed over to prosecutors. Suddenly, this isn't just about a $50 million lawsuit. It's about potential criminal exposure for one of the richest men in sports. The complaint even claims Ballmer paid Sandberg to keep quiet about the Kawhi Leonard payments. If that's proven true, we're talking about criminal conspiracy and obstruction of justice, both federal crimes that can carry real prison time. To be fair, Ballmer hasn't been charged with anything yet, but this lawsuit lays out a roadmap for prosecutors: where to look, who to question, and what evidence to demand. It names witnesses, details the alleged transactions, and describes how the fraud unfolded. That's exactly the kind of blueprint that can spark a federal case. For the NBA, the implications are enormous. Commissioner Adam Silver has stayed mostly silent so far, but that won't last. Once discovery begins and documents start hitting public filings, those records will be open to everyone, including reporters, rival owners, and Congress. If a single smoking gun email or payment confirmation surfaces, Silver will be under massive pressure to act. And he's already dealing with enough heat from the Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups gambling scandal, which has the FBI involved and Congress demanding answers. Now, imagine adding the league's richest owner being accused of using a fraudulent company to secretly pay players. If Silver looks like he's protecting billionaires instead of protecting the integrity of the game, it could destroy his credibility. But Silver's in a tough spot. Move too slowly, and it looks like a cover-up. Move too fast, and Ballmer, who has virtually unlimited legal firepower, could sue the league for wrongful punishment. Either way, this lawsuit gives the NBA just enough political cover to act if the allegations hold up, and history shows what that can look like. Back in 2000, the Timberwolves lost 5 first-round draft picks for under-the-table deals with Joe Smith. The Clippers, who don't have a first-round pick until 2030, could face even worse punishment. We're talking about forfeited picks, multi-million-dollar fines, voided contracts, and in the worst-case scenario, forcing Ballmer to sell the team, just like they did to Donald Sterling in 2014. The irony in all this is unreal. Skip Miller, the lawyer suing Ballmer, is the same guy who once helped the Clippers win the legal fight to build their $2 billion Intuit Dome. Now he's trying to take down the man who owns it. And the company at the heart of the scandal, Aspiration, now Katona Climate Solutions, was supposed to be an eco-friendly, planet-saving brand. They even signed a $300 million arena partnership deal to promote sustainability. Yet according to the lawsuit, the company was a total front, used to illegally funnel money to Kawhi Leonard. Then there's Ballmer's defense. I got conned too, but that's a hard sell. You're worth over $100 billion. You were the CEO of Microsoft, and you didn't notice that a tree planting company was paying your franchise player $28 million for nothing? That doesn't fly. Especially when evidence shows Uncle Dennis, Kawhi's uncle and agent, personally called Aspiration demanding payment when the company was falling apart. Why would he be chasing that money unless he knew exactly what kind of deal it was? If this case goes forward, discovery will drag everyone in. Ballmer, Kawhi, Uncle Dennis, former Aspiration employees. Every single person with knowledge of those payments could be deposed under oath. And once that testimony becomes public record, the NBA will have no choice but to act. For Ballmer, the stakes couldn't be higher. He's facing tens of millions in civil damages, possible criminal charges, and the threat of losing his franchise. For the Clippers, it could mean years of irrelevance. Losing Kawhi, forfeiting draft picks, and seeing their new $2 billion arena turn into a ghost house. And for Kawhi himself, this could stain his entire legacy. Two-time Finals MVP, two-time Defensive Player of the Year. But if this turns out to be true, all of that gets overshadowed by one word: cheater. And that's the real tragedy here. This all started over just $50 million, pocket change to Steve Ballmer. But in trying to keep one superstar happy, he may have risked his empire, his reputation, and his team's future. Because in the end, fraud always collapses. It just takes one person to get caught, and the entire web unravels. Sandberg already fell. Now, Ballmer might be next. The discovery process is only beginning, and if those investors get what they're asking for, every text, email, and transfer exposed, we might soon see just how deep this scandal really goes.